Hi everyone, thank you for having me today and coming to the talk. As you mentioned, I'm probably less technical from an SEO perspective, very much more content, so hopefully you can all just understand where we're coming from Deloitte. I'm going to be talking about SEO and content marketing. It's a match, probably a lot more from a B2B marketing perspective. So I'll start with a little bit about myself. 8 years in B2B digital marketing, very much across the board. A lot of site migrations, very much focused on creating high quality content to kind of know what works well and obviously content marketing approach. I'm passionate about digital marketing, bit of a geek, and love content strategy. This is a search conference, so I do love SEO. Technical side of things probably isn't my strong point, but I love learning about it, and I love cats. Sorry, dog people. So can I just quickly ask, how many people have a B2B marketing background? Just raise your hand. Okay, so quite a few actually. This is good. When I started thinking about what I was going to talk about, I was thinking, okay, we've got SEO and content marketing. I've worked at Deloitte for probably less than a year, so I'm still learning how we do things, especially from these two perspectives. And I thought about my own experience, and it was very much on best practice and how to optimize on-page content, essentially. Which I thought it probably would be worth you guys hearing about if you already know it in general. So I'm going to share a bit of insights into SEO and content marketing from my perspective and the short time that I've worked at Deloitte. So things that we do really well, we do have quite a high authoritative site. There are a number of quality backlinks. I'm going to confess we probably don't audit them on a regular basis. So please don't be too shocked. But there is a number of external links that do link back. We do follow SEO best practice when it comes to a lot of our content efforts. And we do have a fully optimized, that should say, mobile site. So it is responsive. So it's good to know that we're not behind the times. And how we do content marketing is slightly different. We focus a lot of our efforts on our thought leadership. We develop a lot of insights in-house. We have an amazing team of writers. We conduct our own research, and a lot of it is through targeting stay-awake issues that are really going to affect our clients. So we have a lot of direct conversations and build that relationship up and trust, which helps us develop further content. So it's not necessarily the usual keyword research side of things, and a lot of our topics could range from Brexit to digital disruption, for example. So we need to know a lot about a lot of stuff, really. And a brand like Deloitte, we've got a strong reputation online and offline. We've got a lot of trust and authority, especially with particular topics and areas. So we are seen as quite an authoritative brand. But because of this, we do SEO a little bit differently. A lot of the time, we have written reports and thought leaderships that come to me, and they've already been written. Not ideal. I don't get a chance to do the keyword research as much. But there is an opportunity where we can target and be more particular with a lot of our topics and optimize our content from that perspective. And as I mentioned, keyword research. What I tend to do from a content strategy side is look further into things other than keyword research. We've got Moz Pro, SEMrush is great as well. But looking at keyword research, but trying to build a bigger picture, especially for where it's B2B, a lot of our audience and target audience are very much business owners and CEOs, so we build those relationships up, not necessarily online, but we still obviously need to have a presence. And looking at keywords does help, and it's a very good starting point. However, I like to look at our target audience's online behavior, so really utilizing the insights that we've got existing, what we actually do well, and the areas that we could improve on, and understanding our customer journey, especially online when it comes to the different touch points when they're engaging with our content. I also like to use social listening tool called Brandwatch, which is really useful just to develop that bigger picture and audience. So when we do come to develop our content online, we know exactly who we're trying to target, what we're trying to achieve, and also be selective with the channels when we're marketing. So we do have a lot of different areas. Again, I mentioned thought leadership. That is probably one core area when it comes to our content marketing efforts. Newsletters as well, very targeted. Social media. So from our perspective, LinkedIn and Twitter are our most optimized accounts. Blogs as well, don't rule it out. It's great having a blog platform so we can obviously utilize our own staff's voices. Obviously, we have articles from a web page perspective, video content as well. That's really great to develop. Case studies as well. We have so many different examples of where we've helped clients. Sometimes we're not necessarily can shout out about it, but other times it's actually really valuable content and really gives us that credibility. Events online and offline, through webinars and PR. PR is probably one of our strongest. We have a lot of relationships with journalists online and offline, but it can really help, especially from a link building perspective, where we do have those relationships offline. It can be a case of speaking to those journalists and asking for those links back to our site and to our page content. So I mentioned earlier that obviously look at social listening tools and Brandwatch. I really like it just because when it comes to search tools like Moz Pro, like Google Keyword Planner, you kind of understand of search volumes and particularly keywords, especially if you know what you're searching for. But with social listening tools, it's great to understand brand risk and what people are talking about and their sentiment, but also the natural language that they use. So for Deloitte, we might have something that's quite technical, but actually the way our target audience talk about it is probably completely different. So having that understanding and awareness and to try and rank well across the board. Another area that we're looking to develop is creating more video content. Obviously, that is appearing higher up in SERP ranks, and we probably, for a B2B perspective, have a lot of talking heads, which isn't really engaging, especially for our audience. It's great from a cost-effective point of view, but creating that story through our content, understanding our audience and how they digest the video content as well. So, for example, being a bit more strategic with our channels by looking at how we can develop example of video content. We'd want to have shorter snippets of video on social rather than YouTube, for example, but still optimizing a lot of that content because YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google, of course. So because of this landscape, and we have a lot of challenges, we're still following best practice. We have a technically sound site. Obviously, I do love CAPS, so I had to feature this today. We are being a lot more strategic when it comes to our SEO efforts, and probably the next year or so, that is where we're going to spend a lot of our efforts, especially when it comes to our content, and continuing producing thought leadership, but looking at other platforms and formats, obviously video, but looking at newer technologies such as VR, that could be a potential option, and increasing our blogging capabilities. We have a blog platform. It's probably not so much fit for purpose at the moment, but it's something where we can easily develop and drive a lot of our content and our thought leadership and raise the profiles of our own staff. So looking ahead, my colleague Iram was originally going to be talking about our ambassador program. This is more from a social media perspective. We are using a tool called Sociable. It's really great to just have feeds internally for our staff where they can easily engage with our social content, being very targeted. And our greatest ambassadors are our people. We have some great personalities, great experts. And when it comes to a B2B marketing, B2B brand such as Deloitte, having that authentic voice through our people and their expertise has really helped. And also from a content marketing perspective, utilising their voice and their opinions on their own social platforms really helps amplify our content, and it has already shown results. Voice search, this is something that I've been a bit skeptical about, and I'd be keen to obviously talk to a lot of you guys about this, but should we be thinking about it now? I think yes, but in terms of just seeing how it can develop further, it probably isn't necessarily something we'd considered right now, given a lot of our SEO efforts is around best practice, but trying to develop that further and be more strategic. But obviously, keeping an eye out to see how our audiences are consuming content. So, yeah, SEO and content go together like Team Biscuits. You really can't have one without the other. And I just kind of wanted to emphasize that a little bit, just because from my perspective, where we already have content from that's already been written and having to reverse engineer and optimize it for SEO, probably not ideal, but at the same time, it still helps. So yeah, a couple of things on how to swipe right with your SEO and content marketing. Content is queen. We produce a lot of high quality content. We follow best practice. We have an optimized site. It does help, and it's helped us steady along, especially when it comes to our SEO efforts. There is a lot more that we could do, and we are doing that. But also, again, try and follow best practice, at least as a minimum, when it comes to your SEO efforts. And tailor your content to your audience. At the end of the day, I know we have search bot and everything else to help raise awareness and drive those technical efforts. But at the end of the day, you really want to target your audience, give them content they can think about, help them achieve what they need to, and be that brand or even person that can really help them with their efforts. So, pretty quick one, but I just want to say thank you. Feel free to connect with me, and if you've got any questions, please let me know afterwards.